Now that it's the end of April, coming into May, there's a good chance you'll see a lot of these very sinister looking large flies around. This one is a female. She's a very tiny head, and she's what's known as a St. Mark's fly. The male has much bigger eyes. They're terribly clumsy flyers. You've never seen anything as bad. They end up in puddles. They're harmless. There you go. You can see her head there. She looks very sinister, but she's just completely harmless. Look at that. And now you see them blundering around hedgerows everywhere. This is the first I've seen this year. Some years there's lots of them, in other years there's almost none. And the male is the same size, but he's a totally different shaped head. And he's hairy. Now she's going to try and fly. Oh, there she goes. There she is again, after bumbling out of the sky. A hilariously bad flyer. I'll try and pick her up again without... Well, so you often see, if there's ever a lot of rain around, these unfortunate flies die in their hundreds because they fall into puddles and drown. That's a lawnmower in the distance there. Well, it's not that distant. And maybe she'll find a mate. There she goes. And she's gonna, whoop, there she goes. Terrible flyer. Gone. Now this is a little bit hilarious. It's another St. Mark's fly that's just landed on me. So I think there's going to be a swarm. They normally fly in swarms. And just big black flies flying all around, and they just fly up and down along hedgerows. And I find them quite nice. I think they're... I mean, this one's kind of sporty looking. It's kind of like one of those cars that looks amazing, but there's absolutely nothing under the hood. That is to say, she is so bad at flying. She's so clumsy. But her purpose is just to find a mate. In a way, like mayflies, they just... their purpose is to actually mate. And then to lay eggs. And the larvae lives in the soil for a year. It might actually be more than a year before emerging in the springtime. And I think they're kind of pretty. Now the male kind of looks funny because you see the female's all shiny and smooth, whereas the male has big head and big eyes because he has to find the female. And he's covered in hair. And he's black like she is, the same size, but just he almost looks like he's a different species of fly. Now she's waiting for the breeze to get to her. When you look at her head, you'd actually think she's probably an ant or something like that. And it's called the St. Mark's fly because it appears around St. Mark's Day. Usually every year. But some years there are lots of them, and other years there are very few of them. Now, so that's two of them. There must be males around, or well, there'll be males around shortly. These provide a huge amount of food for birds every year when they swarm, and everything else actually. Shrews will eat them when they find them on the ground. Sometimes you can find the ground spotted with them, hundreds and hundreds, thousands even. You go along hedgerows and just walking down the road and they're swarming. She's cleaning herself, or she's trying to take off, I'm not sure which. She hasn't opened her wings yet. Nope. If I raise my hand, I bet she'll climb to the top here and she'll fly. There she goes. You can just about see her. And off she goes.